Eric, do you ever cross paths with John Huffnagel in Calgary?
Yeah, I see Huff at all sorts of functions. He's still a man in the community, doing what he does, and yeah, I see Huff all the time.
I wonder why would a guy want to leave Calgary and what he's got there for. I know you're not the CFL insider. That's a weird one. Go to be a special advisor in Toronto.
Well, special advisors got to be the easiest gig in the world, right? You're not accountable really for anything. It's like hockey operations. The guy I always just say to Brian Burke, you got the cushiest job in sport as the director of hockey operations. You could fire 3 coaches and probably 2 general managers before everybody traced this mess back to you. And I'd say the same sort of thing about special advisors. They're completely off the hook. It's a retainer. And you basically, like, Jerome McGinley is a special advisor to the Flames. You know, does he have to answer for anything ever? No. Yeah. He just has to answer Craig Conroy's call. That's it.
Now, is this to do you think, with how the Argos handled Chad Kelly and that situation there?
You know,
is there anything to do with it?
I have no idea. Like, you know, the CFL is not my thing anymore, but I did cover the Stamps for 25 years, and so I dealt with Huff a lot. And, look, the situation in Calgary right now is not, how shall I say it? Not as stable as it once was. The Calgary Stampeders used to be one of the model franchises, and things have changed a lot there. The attendance is bad. The team is not great. You know, I have a feeling that maybe he just wanted something a little different after all those years of running that thing.
Man, what a game you get to see tonight. The 8-13 Predators against the 9-14 Calgary Flames. Yeah, what do you make of that one?
Well, I figure I'll get a pretty good head start on Tootsies, because this game, no, it's, you know what, it's the toilet bowl, the McKenna game, whatever you want to call it. You know, the Flames are playing better of late. I think they've got points in like 7 of their last 9. They're still the second last place team in the league, so there's still a massive hole they've dug. But, you know, look, I always love covering games here. I have to say, it's colder today here in Nashville than it is in Calgary. I didn't even know that was possible.
Wow.
It is freezing here, and but it just means you got to get inside as quick as possible when you're on Broadway Avenue there.
Now, what did Barry Trotz do wrong as the Nashville general manager? When he went there as the GM, I thought, there's a guy that's going to be a great pick. What all did he do wrong? I mean, Stamkos played with Kucherov and Point in Tampa Bay, but Barry forgot that there's no Kucherov and Point in Nashville. But like, where did he go wrong? Because he's been a disaster as a GM.
Yeah, it hasn't gone that well, and he kind of read the riot act to them the other day, and the game they got scored on in the first minute. So I'm not sure the message got through to the players. There actually is talk that if they lose tonight, that Andrew Burnett, this might be his last game as coach here in Nashville. We chatted with him this morning, and look, it's not good. You know, they've had a lot of injuries, but this was not supposed to be a rebuilding time. When they signed Stamkos, this was just kind of supposed to be a retooling of sorts.
Yeah, and
it's gone to hell, really, in a lot of different ways. Yossi's coming back tonight. That's a big one for them. You know, it's just nowhere near the team that it used to be. And this is a daunting place to play, not just because the team was really good and one of the best blue lines in the league, but because every team that came in here would play the game pretty banged up from the night before. And
yeah,
and now I don't think any NHLers drink when they come here, so it's not a problem.
And, you know, I looked down their roster, and Roman Josi, okay, know that name. Philip Forsberg, we know that name. Eric Halla, well, okay, I guess we know that name. Nicholas Hague, who was in Vegas, had a good run. Ryan O'Reilly, like there was earlier this year in his post game, it was almost like he was like, "What?" Like, you know that buddy that marries the wrong girl and you know it, and you're like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And then he's like, "Oh my god," or vice versa, or the guy or the girl that marries the wrong guy. He was like, "What am I doing here?" And then you got Stamkos and Yost. Like, there's some notable names. Ozzy Weisblatt is there as well. Is there anything like that you, besides the team itself, and is this the last game for Brunette, is there anything that you're curious to see from this Nashville team?
Yeah, Yeah. There's Nick Blankenburg is kind of an interesting story. He's been on a bit of a tear. He's a defenseman, and he's a real neat story, actually. He'd grown up in Michigan, I believe, couldn't get a job out of coming basically as like he was 15, 16. Decides to go, he went to some camp in the AJHL, the Alberta Junior League, because they had like a spring camp. They invited him to come. He'd never heard of, he was out in Okotoks, south of Calgary. He goes and plays there, and he's on a wagon of a team. The only thing he knew about the AJHL was that some guy named Keith's been drafted out of the league. And he thought, well, maybe it's not that bad. He goes there, gets a scholarship back in his home city again in college. Anyway, I love those stories where the guy had nowhere to go and just took a chance on one team, and next thing you know, he's in the league. Luke Evangelista is another guy who's playing on the top line. The guy who I'm real interested in. I think he's really starting to come into his own. I think that guy's got a big ceiling as well. So he's one guy I'll be watching probably more than anybody else. But same with Forsberg. I mean, Forsberg is still, in my mind, still a star in the league. He's only 31 years old, I believe. He's still got a lot of runway, a lot of hockey to play. But this year, even he's been terrible. So I don't know what to make of this group. I'm interested to see them tonight.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, for the Flames, I was looking at goaltending statistics on NHL.com just a few minutes ago, and the number one goalie statistically in the entire NHL is Devin Cooley in a small amount of games. But, yeah, I mean, what about this guy? And Dustin Wolf is way down the list in stats now.
Well, there's no question. Cooley's been the better goalie here right now. There's also no question as to whose crease it is and who's going to be here the next 7 years with the contracts Wolf signed. So, I'll stop short of calling this a goalie controversy. I'm going to stop way short of calling it a goalie controversy. But, he started now. This will be the sixth in 6 and 7 games he's played for the Flames. But he's on a 3-0-1 run. He's playing really well. Like you said, he's got the best goals against average in the league, second best save percentage in the league. Quite frankly, he deserves to stay in the net. And look, they're going to ask for Dustin Wolf to carry the load for the next 7 years. If you got a spell here where the backup's like red hot, and maybe the hottest goalie in the league, you might want to just take a roll and keep letting them roll out. So that's what they're doing. Mm-hmm. But every time they announce them, I'm still surprised. And that was the first question I asked the coach today, like, what's your mindset? And he just said, look, it's important to show these guys if they can contribute to a team winning that you reward them. Otherwise, where are the carrots out there? So he's being given another carrot tonight, and he's earned it.
Carter Hart making his debut tonight in Las Vegas. A lot being made about that. Your thoughts?
Fascinating. Today's the first, December. He couldn't play till December. He signed that contract, 2 years times $2 million each. I think it's a big chance that Vegas is taking, but Vegas goes like nobody else in the league, and so I'm not surprised they're giving him a chance. They're a little bit insulated from all the noise surrounding a player like Carter Hart. It's still a sensitive topic. The Golden Knights say, you know what, we take all this very seriously, and he's going to be doing his work in the community to show that he's a good person, a good citizen, and he's moving forward. But I'll be fascinated to see if you can miss 2 years in the National Hockey League and just jump right in. I know you're playing on one of the best teams against one of the best defensive teams too, but I think he was 1-2 playing in Henderson he didn't exactly light it on fire. So yeah, I think it'll be the most fascinating story in the NHL tonight. I'll be watching that one close as ever.
Yeah, he's over 3 goals against in his 3 games with Henderson and 8.39 save percentage. I was watching. Yeah, it didn't look. But
he'll get better. I mean, you'd think he's going to get better. He's just very, very rusty.
Well, but like Eric says, like 2 years away from NHL is a lot different than 2 years away from playing senior hockey, right? And the guy can pick it up and go sign again in Lacombe.
A little bit, yeah.
It's...
But you knew he was going to Vegas all along. I don't know why. Just knowing Kelly McCrimmon, when Carter Hart and, what happened in the court case and whatnot became available, I don't know why. Just in what Kelly McCrimmon has done in the past, I just said, he's going to end up in Vegas. Just watch. I mean, I don't know. I can't even explain it. I just knew that's where he's going to go.
Yeah, the early reports were that they were very interested too. So Look, I do think it's a bit of an, I don't want to say an outpost, but it is far from the Canadian noise, right? There's no way you could assign him in a Canadian city. There's just no way. I will tell you something. I had a very interesting conversation with some people at Hockey Canada. Obviously, Canada's still looking for a goalie, right? We don't have a goalie for this little tournament coming up here.
Wow.
If the tournament even happens, you know where I'm going with this. What happens if Carter Hart sets the world on fire and is the hottest goalie in the league? Like, it's such a long shot, but like there's just no way Hockey Canada could ever consider bringing Carter Hart to the Olympics. I know the national team for the Olympics is different than juniors, but come on, with all that, guys, there's no way that could ever happen. Or could it?
He could run 7 straight shutouts, and it's just the Hockey Canada will be like, oh, look away, nothing happened over here. What do you? So the rink not being ready is fascinating. I just think it. And then today it comes out. Apparently, it's smaller than the NHL rink.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 feet. It's just unbelievable that this could happen, and like the NHL, like nobody has a tape measure over there in Italy. Look, what's fascinating is that here we are, right? A month out from naming the teams, and less than 2 months out of the tournament, and the building's not even close to being done. So I'm fascinated to see, because there's no plan B. That's the most amazing thing. If there's no rink and they can't play, and look, I think we all think they're going to figure it out. But if they don't, there's just no tournament. So yet another impediment between Connor McDavid playing international hockey against best on best. So let's hope that even though the rink's the wrong size, that at least it's playable.
The whole thing about the Associated Press article and the no plan B, I bet you that changed within hours to be like, already. Some people stepped in and said, all right, you're finishing this thing, and if not, what are we going to do? Because I hear Turin's 2 hours down the road. So not a lot, but then there's a lot of people that have planned to be in Milan or around there. So is Turin the backup plan? I don't know. And then the other thing, I was talking to an ice guy, Eric, because then I'm just like, they're playing the women and the men there, and like, don't know what. So I talked to Dave Singer yesterday, and he's done ice around the world. Great, he works out of Moose Jaw now, and he said if the plant is new and good, and the facility is properly insulated or whatever, he goes, it's not a problem. They played 3 NHL games a day on the bubble in Edmonton, so he's like, you can do it. He goes, but you know, you got to test. You want to test this stuff before it's like, open up the doors and here we go.
No kidding.
It's like, it's going to be interesting. I'm sure you're going to ask everybody that you come across in the next little bit here about it.
Oh yeah, and you know, you think insurance wise, I mean, there's a lot of money going to be playing on that ice rink. You know, potentially if that tournament goes off.
Oh, great point.
And if some guy gets hurt because the ice is considered to be too soft or too hard or just not playable, you know, the NHL would step in at some point, because I've covered enough of those outdoor games where they're just like, look, I know there's a lot of money right on this, or the whole hockey world is waiting to see this outdoor game, but I've covered a couple games. I know one in Edmonton where I think they postponed it a day, or at least 4 or 5 hours, so that it could get colder or warmer. It's just amazing, and safety is paramount, and especially with these sort of talents on the ice, you can't compromise that.
Well, the insurance companies, you have a smaller ice surface, therefore it's going to be more physical, more hitting, more crashing into each other, crashing into the boards. Or the insurance company is going to look at this smaller rink and say, you got to pay more premiums. You know what I mean?
That's never been my dealing with it. They're always really generous and say, no, pay us less. We think you're paying too much right now. So I hear what you're saying. Look, and then the debate will now start to change as everybody starts to pick their teams on bar stool napkins, and everyone will be like, well, if it's a smaller rink and it's more physical. You need Tom Wilson, don't you? No. Other people say, no, you need speedier guys to get away from those hits. Anyway, it'll be fascinating.
It sounds like you need to get on a plane and go to London, talk to somebody at Lloyd's of London about the insurance aspect of it. Just giving you ideas, buddy. I know you're grinding.
Thanks, buddy. I
grinding.
Appreciate that.
Okay, last thing, we had someone text in, and it's hard to believe that Celebrini and Bedard are 2 and 3 in NHL points still.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's
ahead of Bedard, ahead of McDavid.
Yeah, David behind McKinnon. Like, it's just amazing. Look, it's all first picks overall. It's a fascinating time to be a sports fan. And the other night Bedard has 4 points. Celebrini answers with 3. Like, on an almost nightly basis, they're responding. It's tit for tat. It's amazing how one won't let the other one outdo them. And look, I can tell you, just again from talking to people at Hockey Canada and stuff, Celebrini certainly has the inside edge ahead of Bedard. But I think Bedard hears these things too and knows these things. And every time Celebrini does something, Bedard counters. And so I can't see bringing both guys. I really can't, guys. But then other people will say, well, I can't see how you can't bring them both. But I love the quote from Bill Guerin the other day. He was saying, this isn't like, we're not picking a beer league team. This is not based on what have you done for me lately. This is based on a body of work and throughout someone's career, or certainly over the last 2 or 3 years. So you're not picking a team just because a guy's been red hot the last 8 weeks. You're picking a guy because he's proven to you over time that you can trust him. So those guys still have a lot to prove to get onto this team. That's why I think only one of the two is getting onto the team.
All right.
That actually makes sense. Can I ask one more question, Barney? Or are we out of time?
Yeah.
So when you're from Saskatchewan, as you all know, Eric, half your friends live in Calgary. Half your kids live in Calgary, blah, blah, blah. So I hear lots from Flame fans who are cheering for the Flames blatantly to lose because they want Gavin McKenna. But here's a problem now, and I agree with that. Lose and get the top player. But now Kenton Verhoff from North Dakota on Sportsnet 2 is now marginally being rated ahead of McKenna, the Fort Saskatchewan defenseman. He played for Victoria last year in the Western Hockey League. He's sensational. He's like 6'4", 200 pounds at his draft age. Like, is there any chance that Gavin McKenna, if the Flames pick number 1, they wouldn't pick him?
Yeah, look, there's a lot of hockey to be played between now and then. Some people say to reports like that they're overthinking it because, look, McKenna has just been unbelievable the last 2-3 years. He's been the talk of the hockey world as the future number 1. But I'm with you. Like, I get it. He's a big, talented, right shot defenseman. Those are very, very hard to find, and you can pluck him right away, and he could probably join your team right away. That's Verhoff. But I don't know. McKenna, I think like the Celebrini Bedard thing, I think he's going to answer to this. He's going to see that people are talking, wondering if he's number 1. I just don't see how you pass up a talent like that if you have the first pick overall. And look, a lot of waters go under the bridge before the Flames even win the draft lottery. I saw the odd. It's 18.5% right now for Nashville if they had the draft lottery, 13.5% for Calgary. So by no means are you even locked if you finish last into getting that first pick overall. But whoever takes that first pick overall, they may be facing a hell of a dilemma, which hasn't happened in a long time. It's usually consensus number 1. I still think McKenna will be that consensus number 1 by the time the draft comes along, but it is interesting that now people are questioning it.
And then you got, Fedorev from Russia, who's ranked higher than the kid from Sweden, Jork, something like that. I don't know. Maybe you'll hear some ABBA tonight at Tootsie's post game. Hey, if you do, send me a video, please. It's cold. 2 crappy teams playing tonight. I don't know how you're going to get by, man. Like, really. There's guys covering Fort St. John Junior A tonight, and you got to grind it out there. It's hard.
No, I'll be okay. I know. Don't worry about me. I know you don't. And I'll send you more video from Tootsie's tonight if you want, Barney, just so that you know I'm safe and warm.
I wake up this morning and I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, Fleetwood. Oh, some cover band doing Fleetwood Mac from Tootsie's.
And the singer was from Edmonton. Just a Small
Was
world.
she?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, it was really
Right
cool.
on. All right, buddy. Have a good night. Talk to you on Friday.
Cheers, boys. Yeah, cheers.